Yo, here we go. Take two. Take two. It's been a while since I did this, so would only be right that I make a few mistakes on the first attempt, but I think we'll get it right this time. So, yeah, today is August 1st, 72 months of healing from benzodiazepine inflicted damage. I was talking to a friend recently who's within the benzo survivor community, and she was telling me that's not the correct terminology. There was some challenges that with some of the terminologies that people use. So I try to use something that's respectful of what we've been through is most accurate. Um, but yeah, so like I said, 72 months since I first started healing from this. 6 years today, August 1st. It's crazy to think it's been that long. Uh, 43 months was the last time, so it's been 29 months since I made a video almost 3 years ago. Probably a little rusty, so I'm gonna just freestyle from the top of my head, talk about things that I think people would want to hear me talk about when I was in a similar position, just what I'm going through in life right now. I don't think I ever intended it for it to be almost 3 years since I made another video, but just in the process of living life, I lost track of it and became a lot more introspective. I think more introverted, reflective, and just being busy. So, but yeah, to parts that people probably want to hear about the most. I'm doing good, but I'm definitely still not healed or recovered all the way. Uh, I start off with the bad, or not the bad, but the things that I still have challenges with, or I'm still healing from. I'm really big on words and how we phrase things. So I would say the things that I'm still healing from and still learning lessons from. Uh, I still have benzo belly, so my stomach protrudes a lot. I eat a lot of highly fiber food or food with a lot of fiber in it. I'm vegetarian and vegan, so that helps a lot. But if I don't eat that type of diet, then it's easy for me to get backed up pretty quick. So I still eat pretty healthy to help out with that. But yeah, I have benzo belly. I still have TMJ. I don't think it's bad as it used to be because at its worst, which was for a long time, I still wear a mouth guard, but I would have to switch it out about once a month because of how hard I was biting down on my teeth, that I would bite through the mouth guard and have to switch it out for another one. But I think on the one I'm on right now, I've been on it for 3 to 4 months and it's still going strong. So I know I still bite my teeth because I've had times where I fell asleep without it, but I can definitely feel it's improving. Forgive me being congested. I wish I would have been feeling a little better to make this video, but I felt like the timing of it was more important to how I feel. Uh, but yeah, so TMJ, I don't have really much tension in my head. There was there was a stretch there for a year. When was it? January 2025. Yeah, I hurt my back. And I hurt my back in the most craziest way. I was just cleaning up my living room and I was folding the couch and I got up and I turned and I tweaked my back in I guess a very peculiar way. And it took me out. Like I couldn't walk. I was in a whole bunch of pain. I never had anything like that happen to me before. And I was in so much pain. And I was studying for college. I was in school at the time still. Uh, I made the decision to take a Percocet. And I knew I shouldn't have did it, but I was just in pain and I was trying to get my mind right for school, doing what I could do to relieve the pain. And the Percocet did not sit well with me. It caused some type of reaction in the back of my head where it felt like I had a vacuum hose or something like that at the back of my head that was sucking all the, I guess you could say, hydration or liquid out my brain. I don't know. It was miserable. For like a year, it felt like I had varying degrees of that. Man, hold on one second. I gotta blow my nose. Pardon me. But yeah. So for like the year, for past year, or for a year, I was dealing with that. Thankfully, for the most part, it's gone away. I don't really feel any more tension in my head, but I do find cog fog still to be a challenge. It's definitely gotten a lot better. You know, when this first happened, I couldn't read, I couldn't follow conversations or anything. But now I can keep up for the most part. I work in tech, you know, I work in a very intellectual environment and I keep up, but there are times where I have to slow down or I'll go back and need to reread something or just have some moments where I'll honestly space out because the racing thoughts will take over. And then I still have sleep challenges. Definitely has gotten a lot better, you know, compared to the beginning of this when I wasn't sleeping at all. Then going from 1 hour, 2 hours a night to 3 to 4 hours a night. I would say for most nights now, I sleep anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 hours. It's not the best sleep in the world, but it's good enough for me to get the job done and feel functional. And for the most part, my sleep is dependent upon my sleep discipline and my sleep hygiene. So when I'm doing the things that I know will promote a good night of rest, I still get a pretty good, decent sleep. But I am looking forward to when I have like deep, consistent, restorative sleep that doesn't have to be micromanaged to get to that result of sleep. And then what else am I dealing with? Exercise intolerance. That's probably been one of the more challenging aspects of this, just because I've always been an athlete. Working out, running, is part of my therapy, is part of my complete person experience that allows me to do what I do at a high level. And I've probably been exercise intolerant since 2023. I would say is like when I really just have not been as active as I was previous to this. I've had moments of athleticism where you know I run 5 miles. I've walked 10 miles in a day. I've walked 13 miles in a day, but it usually sets me back pretty bad afterwards. My body has a hard time recovering from the muscle tissue breakdown. So, with me working the way that I am and having gone through that process of realizing, hey, if I overexert myself, it's gonna take me a few days to recover. And with me working full time right now, it's just not the luxury that I have to go as to work out the way that I would like to. But I still um, find ways to do activity. You know, I do yoga once a strong or once a week rather, usually every Sunday, and then I try to do some personal yoga sessions when I'm by myself when I have the time. But I've realized with working out, it's just something that I'm gonna have to ease myself into. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. We were talking about the Dark Knight Rises and the symbology and mythology of being in the pit. And I just had to come to terms that, hey, I'm in the pit. In order for me to build myself to get out of here, take it one push up at a time, one sit up at a time, and do what I can. So I started doing a routine recently where I can do 20 push-ups, you know, knock them out, and then just every week after that, build up by 10 push-ups. So, yeah, those are the physical challenges that I still have as far as where I'm at, though, just in life. Otherwise, life is really good right now. I graduated college in January from WGU with the online degree for cloud computing. That was really cool. I got pushed to my limit. I was really proud because I made it through the whole curriculum, no failed classes, no retakes or anything like that. And then my last class was a class in a coding language called Python. And for anybody who has our injury, you're probably familiar with how difficult it can be to make memories for things that are very granular and detailed, and then not only make that memory but consistently build more complex ideas on top of it. And the Python coding class exposed all the damage in my brain. It was very, very challenging. I was getting frustrated because I was an intelligent person before my injury, and I always had a good memory. I was able to learn things on a deep level. And the fact that I wasn't able to learn this the way I wanted to because of an injury was extremely, extremely frustrating. And excuse me, I got to the point in studying for the course, to pass the course. It's 30 questions, it's 20 multiple choice questions, and then 10 coding questions. I was like, all right, I can master 3 coding concepts like the back of my hand, and then I'll get all the multiple choice right. And I got to get all the multiple choice right. But the way my brain is damaged and the way my brain is healed, I can do multiple choice because process of elimination. But for the granular stuff where you actually have to code it out and be detail oriented, it's more challenging. But anyways, I passed the course, and then I passed, uh, where I graduated college, and then um, just in terms of some of the positive things that have been going on in my life, I recently completed a documentary that'll be coming out at the end of the year about an amazing experience I had at Machu Picchu. I recorded a music slash movie, we'll call it a musical, about my resurrection. I got a chance to meet with some, or not meet, but create the project with two of my heroes, two of the men I've looked up to most of my life. I got to do it in another country. Uh, I learned Spanish at an intermediate level. I learned Portuguese at a conversational level. Uh, I've released 2 albums. I've recorded 10 music videos. Um, I think I just said I did 2 internships at a FANG company. If you're not familiar with a FANG company, it's a Ivy League comparison to the tech companies, so Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. Uh, I swear I'm not saying that for clout or anything like that. I really look at it more as a testament to how I've been willing to challenge myself to be in the most competitive arenas to bring out healing within myself. And yeah, it's crazy because if you saw my life on the outside and the things that I've done over the past 6 years, uh, and I didn't talk to you about what I was going through with Bonds or the Benzo injury, you would have no idea that I've been incapacitated and impaired the way that I have been from this injury. It's been challenging because even though I'm going through this and I'm making moves, I don't really have many or anybody I can convey the gravity of what I'm going through as I'm doing these things. If you're familiar with basketball, Michael Jordan had his flu game moment, and I feel like these past 6 years have been a flu game moment for me. Despite what I've been going through, I made a firm commitment to myself is that I'm not gonna stop living life. I got to keep going. I owe it to myself. I owe it to my family. Um, and just for my own healing and for my own mind state, getting out there and keep living, I feel like is what helps me heal. And then just me being a competitive person and feeling like the pharmaceutical industry got over me, or got over on us rather. Uh, this is my response. Like, yeah, y'all can't stop me from living. I'm gonna keep doing what I do, even if it's at an impaired moment or impaired level. But I think the thing that I feel grateful for within that is that, yo, look at all the things that I've been able to do at an impaired level. Think about what's gonna be possible once I fully heal, and I know full healing is gonna happen for me eventually. I think time is something that it was something I was already intimate with before this, but I've become even more intimate with it. And when I have talked to people about it, and coming from a good place, they make the recommendations for remedies and solutions, and I kindly reply, time is my medicine. It's what I needed. It's what I need to go through this. And as difficult as this has been, it's been the medicine that my soul needed. And I'm really grateful that I've gone through this experience because I'm a new person. I mean, I've been going through this for the past 6 years. You take you take a regular person, you say, hey, are you the same person who you were 6 years ago? Most people are going to tell you no, and they'll acknowledge the gap on how big of a difference who they are that day compared to the person they were 6 years ago, especially if it's a growth minded person. But yeah, who I was 6 years ago is not only different because I've been evolving and growing as a person, but my brain was so damaged that I didn't have the biological capacity to even form a coherent story in the evolution of my psychology, if you will. If I had to describe what it feels like, it's almost like waking up from a dream. And you know how you're going through like the different parts of waking up, like you're kind of groggy, and then as you wake up, you become more and more alert. That's what it's been like with the healing of my brain, where for the better part of these past 6 years, it really has just been the will of my heart and the creator. My You can't have the testimony without the test. And before this, I was always a spiritual person, but just in terms of actually having a connection with the creator, it's on a level that it's never been before. I mean, it would have not been possible for it to be at the level and strength that it is if I hadn't gone through what I've gone through in this experience. There's been so many things that I've had in this experience where I could only acknowledge the divinity of what the creator is and what it's done for my life. Um, and to that point, I will always tell anybody that the foundation of my life and my whole purpose of my life is a testimony to the creator and my understanding of what the creator is. And I don't do my I don't want to impose what my understanding of the creator is. I use my life as a testimony rather, and say, hey, instead of overtly saying this is who I am and what I'm about, take a look at my life and the natural feeling that my life radiates. And that's something that I do feel grateful for. Like, one of the best compliments I think I get from people nowadays is just, yo, Chris, you're a very peaceful person. Every time I come around you, I just feel like I'm more calm. I walk into your home and it just feels like peace. And I feel so grateful because that's a reflection of something that I've worked for to establish within myself. Uh, I meditate daily, like for real, for real. I think I'm currently on almost 2 years straight. I know I'm at like 700 plus days of meditating. And I started doing breathing exercise as well. I just passed 1 year of doing breathing exercises every day. But those things help me. Like I think that meditating gets me at a normal level of what most people are functioning without meditation. Just like the average ADHD person in society is how my mind is when I meditate consistently. Because if I don't meditate, due to the cog fog and the brain damage, man, it would be very, very bad. So, but yeah, saying that to say that I actively make a effort to maintain peace in my life. I am grateful that I have a very peaceful life. That was something that I was hoping would be at the end of this benzo injury experience, was that I would walk away from it with everlasting peace. Because after you've been through what we've been through, like, how could you not just appreciate the smaller things of life? I was talking to one of my friends recently about this actually, and I was telling him, I said, man, I remember there was a point in my life back when I used to do Molly, coke, and drink and whatnot, and I couldn't imagine life without drugs. And not because the drugs themselves were inherently so good, but it had gotten to a point where I felt like I needed them to do everything. Just like, oh yeah, this is cool. We out socializing, but what would this be like without Molly or Coke? It would probably be 10 times better in terms of a conversation. But now I'm just like, man, just having a regular conversation and not needing anything is the best thing in life to me. Being able to go to sleep, wake up, feel good. It was, this experience has been a complete reset on life, and I'll keep preaching. It was everything that my soul needed. I was talking to a beautiful sister the other day, Angela Peacock. We got a podcast coming out. We're gonna do a talk about a documentary I've been working on and just sharing our benzo experiences. But I was telling her, I said something that I had to learn on this journey of healing was instead of asking why this happened to me, asking how this happened to me. Because there's definitely has been moments where it's hard to wrap your mind around something like this happening to you. And I think naturally going through this type of suffering, a person asks, man, what did I do to deserve this? Especially when people around you don't understand what you're going through. But I've learned to start asking myself, how did this happen to me? And in the process of doing that, I've been able to see certain patterns about my character and my psyche that allow for a process like this to happen. And as difficult as it has been, I'm grateful that the revelation of my short-sighted ways was revealed to me in a way that I learned a profound lesson, but I was still able to live and make the world a better place. So, like I said, I express gratitude for going through this experience as hard as it's been. Um, that doesn't mean other people have to feel like that or they're at where I'm at with it. I'm just speaking what I've been through and what has given me strength through this process. But yeah, so today is August 1st. 6 years, just crazy to think about. Even though I'm not healed, I will say my life is really good overall. I have peace, financial stability. I really enjoy what I do in tech. I'm glad that I. It's crazy. The stuff that I'm working on in tech. I was in a meeting yesterday with a mentor. We were building something out, and I have. It was supposed to be a 30-minute meeting, and then we ended up talking for like 3 hours, I think, maybe even 4 hours. And this was on the back end of another 2 hour highly tech meeting as well. And I remember coming out the second meeting, though, the one that was for 3 hours, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm really in tech. I'm doing technical things. I'm talking about technical stuff, and I bring that up because coming into the job and just being surrounded by so many intelligent people, I was dealing with imposter syndrome, bad, and not only imposter syndrome, but genuinely concerned about my biological capabilities to perform at an intellectually intense level like that consistently. And I would say over the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've been starting to see a change and being more optimistic and feeling like I have what it takes and finding a rhythm to be successful at this job. But yeah, I was talking to one of my mentors and came out of that meet and I was just like, man, I'm really in tech right now. And I say that to say just because of how grateful I feel, because Allah truly is the best of planners just in terms of what I've been exposed to during this healing process. There have been times where I just was not able to do stuff, and the creator has always put me exactly where I needed to be when I needed to be there and never put too much on my plate that I couldn't handle. I remember 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, when I first started getting into tech, or I made the decision to get into tech and go back to school, I would have not been able to do what I'm doing right now. It would have been biologically impossible. Even a year ago, to function at the level that I'm functioning at right now, it wouldn't have been possible. But now I'm at a level where I can do what I can do, or I can do what I need to do, and I can do it at a level that isn't uh, an aggravation of my injuries. And it's crazy to think that 4 years ago, just where I was at, going back to the metaphor of being down in the pit, when you down in the pit, it's hard to think that one day you'll be able to climb back up and see the light again. And I feel like I'm walking around with the best kept secret at my job, because I don't think, I mean, you never know, because it's not like somebody's going to come out and tell you, but I don't think, if there's not anybody who's been benzo injured that's working in big tech, or in my vicinity. And people at my job just like, man, you're so inspired, bro, you got so much passion. And I'm like, yeah, I got a lust for life. I got put on timeout for 6 years. Even when I was going to school, everything was online and asynchronous. So My school was a blessing because it allowed me to move at a pace that made sense for me. I didn't have to go in physically. I spent a large part of my college degree laying down in my bed just because I didn't feel well, and it was the best way for me to take in the information. And yeah, just going from that to where I am now, it's just crazy. Like now, but yeah, I was just saying to go from being that isolated and being that sedentary to being put in a high energy environment, talking to people from different backgrounds, different countries. I love it all. I feel like a kid. Going back to being grateful for this experience because most people my age, they start to lose their lust for life, their vigor for life, and you gotta keep living, like keep evolving. That's one thing I'll take from this experience is that every year you get, or every, like, people say when you're 20, 40 sounds old, and then you become 40 and people who are 60 tell you when you're 40, oh, you're still young. I think that's gonna be true for the rest of your life. Age is a mindset, and I don't mean that in the sense that you should be striving to be forever young, but I do mean that in the sense that if you're constantly learning and you're constantly being exposed to new ideas and evolving as a person, you'll always be young. You'll always be young to an idea, and that's something I'm taking from this experience between tech and just healing from the injury is that the process of learning is a beautiful thing. Like, I keep learning. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. Even this benzo injury, as tough as it has been, I look at it as a data point, as something to learn. Like, okay, this is what happens when you put things in your body that you don't truly have an understanding of what they can do. This is what happens when you ignore multiple universal messages in your life that tell you to slow down. Just so many things I've learned in this, and it shows how ignorant I was to the lessons that I had to learn in this experience by the fact of how profound the lesson had to be, or how intense the lesson had to be. Because it's like going through life. People would test you, or the universe would test you on things, and just certain things you don't have to be as tested on as deeply because it's not as big of a challenge for you. It's pretty clear for you to see what the challenge may be. So, but yeah, I feel like I've yapped enough. That's 27 minutes coming up on 30. Like I said, I wish I didn't probably look as bad as I do because I'm getting over a cold. Oh yeah, that was one last symptom that I for the most part I've healed. I still have some like challenges every once in a while with it, but whenever I get a cold, or like the underlying symptoms of a cold, uh, I can't sneeze. I think I can't remember what it is. I was trying to think about the biology, the anatomy of it, but I think it's because of the inflammation in the brain or something like that. It causes something to lock up, but the sneeze would get like right on the verge of it, and then because of the reflex being I guess locked up, the sneeze wouldn't go through, but I would still feel all the tension and the anticipation of the sneeze trapped in my nervous system. Man, I don't think I've cussed this whole video, but that shit used to drive me crazy. Like, it got to the point where I would have to go and just like Johnny blow a whole thing of black pepper. Johnny blow black pepper. But yeah, and like uh almost override my system and make myself have to sneeze. But for the most part, I think I've gotten over that. I sneeze pretty consistently now, and if it does happen, it's only like for a little bit. But yeah, so saying that to say, I wish I felt how I look on most days, which is usually a lot better, a lot more vibrant in life. And yeah, to the people going through this, still, I'm really sorry that you. I won't say I'm sorry. I empathize with the fact that you have to go through this experience, and I will affirm for you that you're able to find people who are able to support you and give you the energy that you need. I will that you can find the mindset that you need to be strong to keep moving through this. I do think that the universe is cause and effect, and I do think that the universe is choice. And even if it doesn't make sense in the moment, your soul knows how strong you are, and your soul made the decision that you needed to go through this experience so you can come out a stronger person and be stronger for the people around you. Uh, no, I will peace. I affirm peace for everybody who's been through this. Yeah, I'll get up here and start preaching, but I just wanted to share, my peace and love, my joy from where I'm at, my journey. 6 years, not healed, but still doing a lot better. And I have faith that one day I'm gonna be 1,000% healed, just like everybody else is who's going through this and checking out this video. Peace, love, and light.